Welcome to Think Alive. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you.
Welcome back to the Thinker, everyone. I've just dropped Sharon off at the airport, early doors this morning. I've been to the big DIY store, collected all the electrical stuff that I need to put our solar installation on it. It was only bits, fuses, distribution boxes, earth rod, that sort of thing, breakers, etc. We're going to be turning this into a patio support area. It's going to have storage space for all our barbecue things, wood for the barbecue, pellets for our pizza oven, cushions, drinks, there's fridge in there, etc, etc. Where's Alfie? So as you can see, the sky is blue, the weather's a lot better today, but there's a bitterly cold wind. We've had a few miserable days, impeded our progress, plus Sharon broke her wrist, which also impeded our progress. But today I want to crack on now. This is going to be a restoration project all by itself, this little building here. We've decided what we're going to do. We've been through another video. So what I want to do first though is get this wall up to there, completely finished. Then I can get that emptied and start on that as an individual project. So I'm going to get a mix on and start rebuilding this wall. Not totally rebuilding it, of course, I've done most of that. It just needs pointing up and some pinning stones and things sticking in it. Down the side of the door here, that needs pointing. So yeah, hopefully it won't take me too long, so no point talking about it, let's get a mix on. Even though we've had a couple of days of rain, well, a few miserable days, we've had a 10 millimetres ish, which is less than half an inch. How they're going to solve our water crisis, but we've got more forecasts coming up, not today or tomorrow though, so that's why I want to try and get as much of this done. It's not good to do it when it's wet, but if it can leave it for a day or two to dry off, then it'll be alright. So as always, give it a wet down and start sticking stones in and making it look pretty and making it strong again. Just going to start up here and just work my way around until it's done. There's another chunk done. It's coming along. Time for another mix. I'm not going to get this done today. I never thought I would do, but hopefully in the next couple of days this will all be finished. Yeah, in the meantime I'll get mixing again. And just before I put another mix on, back to the comments again. As we said before, we really appreciate your comments, thank you very much. We do get some silly ones, I assume from people that don't understand what we're doing here. What we're doing here is preserving, saving, restoring a piece of history. This building was built over 150 years ago, and all the techniques and things that we're doing are the way it would have been built 150 years ago, more than 150 years ago, circa 1870 it was built, using traditional materials and traditional techniques. Obviously we've got to bring it into the 21st century with things like glass in the windows and electricity and stuff to make it suitable for modern living. We're not building a museum, but we want to preserve the building. There's so many of these buildings falling down, no one seems to care about them, apart from us of course. That's one of the reasons, apart from the fact that we love the building, it's a beautiful old building, we want to keep it as original as possible as we can. So we had a comment the other day, said, oh, we're never going to get it done, we're doing it all wrong, we don't know what we're doing. And I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I do actually know what I'm doing. I've been working on restoring old historic buildings for over 30 years. Notably one was a 400-year-old bakery in the Alps in France. which got the endorsement of the local mairie, the town hall. Our local mayor in our village is super pleased with what we're doing to this building to save it. You know, they're dying out, they'll be gone if people don't save them. You can't just throw modern building techniques at them and hope to fix them. They don't sit happily with modern materials for a variety of reasons, which I'm not going to go into now. So that's basically what we're doing. So if there's any doubt with anyone, you know, we're not renovating an old building, we're actually restoring it to preserve it and keep it, because they're disappearing, and you know, this will be one more that's going to stay here. Hopefully we do a good job on it. So with that said, I'm going to keep on tapping my little stones into the holes in the walls. The reasons they're not there is because the walls eroded and they've fallen out. If we don't rebuild it and repoint it, it'll carry on eroding and it'll fall down eventually. It will no longer be a piece of history, it'll be a pile of rubble, like so many around here. So I shall carry on. This is the fun part that I'm doing. There we go, we're down to here-ish. I've got this bit behind me to do, and that bit there. I should get that finished tomorrow. I'm going to try. The dogs will help, of course. No, you're not. Sleeping in the sun. It's getting warm now as well, at last. Hopefully the weather's going to be on my side tomorrow, and for the next couple of days actually, because it needs a day after to kind of set off properly. But yeah, not bad for a beginner. It's looking alright. It's a bit of a mixed bag today. The forecast has given more than a 50% chance of rain. I'm taking a chance on it, because I looked up at the sky and it doesn't actually look that bad. They don't always get it right. Sometimes it's more accurate to look at the sky. So I'm going to try and get this part of this wall finished. That's a good one. And then we can move on to the next bit. I've got another bucket of stones, of course. Tilly's bottle blowing around there. Stones are getting smaller and smaller now as it's getting more and more complete. So carry on getting this pointed up. Well, I would say I've got probably slightly over half of that done. The bit on the left is done. I've got the bit behind the white bucket to do. I'm sure I felt a couple of spots of rain. The sky up there is looking a little bit threatening. Some black clouds coming in. So I think I'm going to have a bite to eat and decide what to do, whether to carry on or not. We've had a couple of spots of rain. I'm going to chance it. Get it finished. We can move on. What are you doing, Till? Destroying something, as usual. Just this little bit. Should be able to get this done this afternoon. And we'll be happy days. and I've got to clean all this wood down that I made a mess on. But we'll do that in a bit, we'll come to that in a bit. Right, let's do it, find my gloves. Well, I'm pleased to say it's finished. I know she's playing with a plastic bottle, she loves them, places them about. All I need to do now is give this frame a scrub down, get this lime off it before it carbonates off fully, and then perhaps look at hanging the door, I don't know. I might empty out the inside first, all my access is a bit easier. But first I'll get this done. There we go, that's come up alright. Probably need another coat of oil when it's all dry and everything. But we've probably got more mess to make on it yet anyway, so we'll not worry about it for the moment. So that's happy days. We'll decide what to do next. Tilly's having a mad one. I hope you can hear me alright with the wind. This has gone off nicely, we didn't get that rain. So I've got quite a bit of work I need to do inside before we can carry on. So I want to get it emptied and have a look what we're up against. So there we go, it's empty at the moment apart from the battery. There's a massive pile of rubble and dirt on the floor. If you can see here, we've actually got a good stone floor in here, which is one less job to do. I was going to move all that stuff out, but there's not much point because the walls are just crumbling and falling apart, and there's going to be tons more. We need to turn this into a clean space. Which means I need to do all these walls, get all this stuff's got to come off. It's just, well, it's just falling off basically. There you go. It's just more mess. The wall over this side, I actually started rebuilding it a while ago. Still needs a bit more doing on it because I want to get this big beam out to give us access in. I think what I might do first, I'm not sure, I'm just working it out, is cut it off about here and then put a leg on it to hold my shelves up. But with that in the way, it really is difficult to work in here. So I think that's probably the first job. I'm having a proper look at this now. As always, I think this job's going to be much bigger than expected. It's just everything's just falling off the wall, look at that. So before we can start to rebuild it, I think the whole lot needs to be, no, not demolished, but sort of cleaned off, get rid of all this stuff, every bit of it. Even in there, look at it. Rubbish. It's going to be pleasant. It's also going to be much bigger than first expected, as always. Right, I'm going to have a think about how to take this forward. Look at it. It's not so bad getting this off, it's getting all this stuff off afterwards. Probably going to be an air hammer job, and yeah. But in these doing, we want to use the room. It's a classic thing. It used to be a chicken shed. There used to be a floor in here. There used to be perches up there for it. So yeah, so we want to keep the building. There's other bits of the floor that were in the walls here. You can't see that, can you? But there is, trust me. Just like rotten bits of wood. Crikey, what a mission. Okay, so after much deliberation and inspection, I think the only place to start is on the outside here. We use the barbecue to cook on almost every day in the summer when the weather's nice. So I'm going to need to move it out of the way to do this wall, but at least if I do that first, I can have it out of the way, get the wall done, and have the barbecue back in place for summer. And the toughest part of this is going to be up there, and there's a lot of loose stuff, but I think the starting point is to get rid of that. It's pretty solid up there actually, surprisingly, I'm amazed. But start to get rid of the loose stuff and get it all brought down, put it out, get it out of the way, ready to start rebuilding it. So I'm going to start up the top, up there. All the back needs rebuilding as well. The reason for doing the outside first as well is because if I start knocking off the inside while the outside's still bad, I'm just risking compromising the integrity of the structure of the wall. So I can get the outsides all built up and solid, then I can knock away at the insides and get all that rubbish off. The outsides don't need any knocking at because it's almost all fallen off anyway. So there's this side here above the roof and all by the barbecue, across the top there, and then of course the other side, which I've done a bit on that already. So I've got to be careful because Jessie sleeps right underneath here, so I don't want to drop anything on her. Job just gets bigger and bigger. I think what I need to do first, this wall, if you can make it out on there, there's like two walls there. I need to rebuild the top. This wall's not bad actually. I need to rebuild the top, make that flat and solid, and then I can work on the wall behind. There's quite a lot of bad wall in this corner here low down. But if you can make out, but this wall up here is actually leaning in a little bit because there used to be just a big hole here that went underground with nothing supporting the wall. We rebuilt this, it still needs final pointing. We built this 4 years ago, so it's actually stabilised the wall, but it's still really bad in the corner. It all needs doing, it's just prioritising what to do next. We could just be here for years doing this, but I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to do the top of this one first and get that bit done. We can look at this later. It seems alright. It's a bit worrying sometimes to look at it, at the state of it. But it doesn't appear to be moving, so we'll edge our bets on that. But yeah, I want to get the top of this one rebuilt, nice big flat stones on there. Then I can do the bit behind, and then do down the side and sort all this mess out. At least we can get the courtyard part finished off, and so we can look at this at a later date. So what's needed are some flat stones. We've got these we collected a while ago for the floor. The fun is going to be getting them up there and getting them set in place. Especially as it's sloping as well, so I need thicker ones at one end and thinner ones at the other end, I think. But at least I've got some anyway. I should actually have enough there to do it if they'll fit. I'll have to check the widths and stuff, but yeah, it's a start. Right, also I've got everything loose off there. I don't know if you can see the dust blowing off it. It's so windy, I don't really want to be up there today. So I'm just going to let, as I did with the other wall, let nature take its course for the afternoon. Hopefully it'll blow most of the loose dust and stuff away, and hopefully in the morning we can, weather permitting again, because we're having a spate of dodgy weather, make a start on it. Tilly hungry, he's rattling a bowl. So yeah, there's nothing more I can do at the minute. I'll just leave that, and then we've got our stones ready. We'll try and get the levels right and start. And I'm also needed elsewhere as well. I don't know if you've been watching Tales from the Cave side. Chris and Lillian are refitting the kitchen that's going to serve for the caves, and he's put some worktops doing. I'll tell you, bashing the camera again. Stop it! And the angles are nearly as bad as the angles here, so I volunteered to go over and cut the worktops for them, so we can get those, so they can get them in place and carry on with the kitchen. As I say, this can wait. You can see the bench isn't getting any tidy just yet. Right, so I'm going to arm myself with, I've got a couple of clamps, a straight edge, and a circular saw. Should be all I need to do it, I think. It's just going to be a diagonal cut at an angle. We can ascertain the angle, the same angle as the wall, and just mark it out, lay the saw on it, and hopefully cut it off. Should be straightforward. So here I am. You could say it's a slight angle. It's almost 45 degrees there. Look at this day. This room's been purpose built, would you say? Specially built. Yeah, that's how they've done it. So what we need to do is to cut this to that sort of angle. I think the easiest way to do it is to just measure that distance at the back and take it off the front, and to the zero corner at the back there, and that in theory should do it, if that makes any sense at all. So what we need to do, I think, is measure this, but mark it underneath, because when you're cutting worktops, always cut them upside down. It's got less chance of chipping the laminate, is that what it's called? Even though this edge here is actually chipped and that's been factory cut. So we'll do that first. We'll have a go. Which way do you want it?
Upside down, you said?
Upside down, yeah.
And that end's the cut end. So I will just put it here for a second, and then I'll turn it round.
So what we want is 160 millimetres taken off this end, going to nothing because we turned it over. So we'll get that marked and get it clamped. So what we want to do when we mark our line, we want to allow, because we're going to put a guide up against the base here, we want to allow, I think it's 35 millimetres on this, on the edge of the tooth. 37 millimetres. 35 millimetres. So we want to 160 on the side we're cutting, and we want to take 35 millimetres off that, and that's where we clamp our guide, in theory. Right. So we've got our first edge done. I'm going to clamp that there. Not bad. Can you plug me in, sir?
Yes.
That must be underneath, isn't it? Or somewhere, yeah. Sort of like that.
Oops. Good job, we've got a lot more left to play with.
Yes, you're gonna need to support this, mate. I think we'll do that again.
Yes.
So rookie error number one. When he got to the end, because Chris was too busy filming, didn't he?
Yes.
Holding it. As it's dropped, it's taken the thing off. But as you can see, the angle is absolutely perfect. So we've got tons and tons at that end to play with anyway. So what we're going to do, we're going to repeat the process. Just bring the guide in a little bit, and Chris is going to hold it this time.
Yes. Right, do you want me
So you just
holding this here?
stop it from dropping, yeah?
Yeah.
Sure, there must be an easier way, but this has got a better. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Practice makes perfect.
Yes. We've got another side to do yet.
Right, the next thing we want to do is cut the length. He wants to come 10
centimetre.
10 millimetres a centimetre past this. But it's going to need a little bit of a notch out because someone put these tiles on the wall.
Lillian did it.
Lillian put these tiles on the wall. So if we just put it in and mark it, it's going to have to go back a little bit, which will affect the length, not by much. But so what we're going to do, we're going to measure it from that distance in from the wall to exactly where we want it, remark it and cut the length, and that should be it. Right, there we go, one down, one to go. Right, it fits.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolute madness though. Let's get in. This angle wasn't even the same as that angle, which is bonkers. Who built this?
Not me.
I was said they had to drink then they built it.
A lot more than we could drink in the night.
Probably looks that way, yeah. Brilliant, so there we go, my work is done.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome, mate, anytime.
So it must be beer o'clock then.
Sounds good to me. Nice cold beer.
Oh yes.
Well, that's all done. Came through a right heavy rainstorm on the way home. Got back here, we've had just over 1 millimetre, which is barely enough to wet the floor. It's amazing how the rain is so localised here, but we never seem to get in here. They've had a fair bit, where Chris and Lillian are. So anyway, another video, another end. I'm going to sort all these animals out, feed them all, they're all hungry. And so thank you so much for watching. Thanks to everyone that supported the channel. Thank you so much to all our Patreon supporters, and we'll see you on the next one.